My parents once called Dr. Nash my guardian angel. I believed it too until he blocked the door and told me my symptoms meant I was destined to complete his trial. His breath smelled like coffee. My college acceptance letter lay crumpled beneath his shoe. I froze. That was 6 months ago. Now he's institutionalized, and I'm the reason why. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Dr. Nash first met me after a seizure landed me in her. He knelt beside my gurney, said I reminded him of someone. His voice was soft, assuring. My parents clung to every word. He spoke of innovative trials and fast-track recovery. I felt seen. That night, I googled him. The articles praised his brilliance. I printed one and taped it beside my bed. Back then, I didn't notice the missing date in his published study. 2 weeks into his care plan, Dr. Nash handed me a journal. Track every change, he said. I felt important, like a co-researcher. But when I logged chest pain, he scribbled over it. Murmurings not relevant. My mom raised an eyebrow. I brushed it off. After all, he was the expert. That night, I noticed a sticky note inside the journal cover. Tommy, day 7, stabilizing. I didn't know who Tommy was back then. During a group therapy session, I mentioned recurring tremors. Dr. Nash tensed. That's expected. He cut in quickly. Then changed topics. Leela, sitting beside me, nudged my notebook and whispered. He told me that too. Her eyes were wary. Later, she showed me her chart, symptoms almost identical to mine. Same meds. My dad asked why I seemed worse. I didn't answer as I began to wonder, was this treatment really tailored? Or something else entirely? I started comparing meds with Leela. Our side effects lined up too well. One night, I overheard Dr. Nash arguing with Valerie, the head nurse. You're not got Quentin, she snapped. I pressed my ear to the door. She mentioned Tommy. The name rang again. At breakfast, Maya asked why I seemed distracted. I didn't tell her about the sticky note. Instead, I quietly took photos of my chart. I needed proof something felt dangerously off. When I asked Dr. Nash about Tommy, he froze for a second, then smiled. He was my son. Brilliant but fragile. I offered condolences. He patted my shoulder. You remind me of him. My stomach churned. That night, I searched old medical forums. One post mentioned Tommy Nash deceased during a failed pediatric trial. Age 16. Cause cardiac arrest. I printed it, tucked it into my sock. Maya noticed my tension. What are you hiding? She asked gently. I slipped the forum printout under Leela's pillow. She gasped when she read it. We're being used, she whispered. Valerie found us whispering and called us in. Her voice shook. Be careful. He's not what he seems. Then she handed me a flash drive, everything I could gather. My mom caught me hiding it and demanded answers. I lied. It's music. But inside I knew this wasn't medicine. This was a reenactment of a dead boy's story. Valerie arranged a meeting with Jordan, the social worker. As we sat down, Dr. Nash burst in. Calm but firm. No need for drama, he said. He placed a sealed envelope on the table. War's progress is exemplary. I wanted to scream. Jordan glanced at me, then the flash drive in my lap. I nodded slowly. He stood. Let's schedule a second review, he said. Nash's smile didn't reach his eyes. That night, Nash summoned me. You're special, he murmured, hands clasped. Don't let them confuse you. I clenched my fists. I'm not Tommy, his smile faltered. But you could be. My pulse raced. Behind him, the door was slightly ajar. I grabbed my notebook and bolted. Valerie met me in the hallway, breathless. We have one shot, she said. Jordan's waiting at the records office. We ran, every step echoing in sterile silence. Inside the records office, Jordan loaded Valerie's flash drive. Charts, logs, internal notes all traced identical protocols across multiple patients. He's been replicating Tommy's treatment, Jordan said, voice tight. I scanned the files, dozens of names, most crossed out. One entry chilled me. Aurora Whitman, phase 2 complete. Valerie covered her mouth. My mom, summoned by Jordan, walked in and read over my shoulder. What the hell has he done to my daughter? She whispered. Rebecca Nash barged in. Leave my father alone, she shouted. Her eyes darted to the files. You don't understand. Tommy was everything. She grabbed a printout and tore it. I stepped forward. He's hurting real people. She shook her head. He's fixing what went wrong. Jordan intervened. Rebecca, this isn't grief, it's abuse. Tears welled in her eyes. She dropped the paper and left. Silence settled. No one moved. Then Valerie turned to me. We finished this. The next morning, I walked into Dr. Nash's office. He looked up, unsurprised. You've grown defiant, he said softly. I placed my journal on his desk. Your trial ends here. He leafed through it, frown deepening. You documented everything. I nodded. So did Leela. And Valerie. His hand trembled. You'll ruin everything. I stepped back. It was already ruined. I turned and walked out. Behind me, I heard the sound of a chair scraping. Hours later, Nash was escorted out by security. He didn't struggle, just stared at me. You were supposed to save him. My breath caught. I'm not your son. Reporters swarmed the hospital steps. Valerie squeezed my hand. You did it. Maya met us in the lobby. Tearful and shaking, my mom held my shoulders tight. And for the first time in months, I inhaled without fear. But the fight wasn't over. Not yet. Days later, I received an anonymous envelope, inside copies of therapy notes, mine and Leela's altered versions. Symptoms downplayed, side effects omitted. At the bottom, system entry by admin override Q Nash. I felt sick. He hadn't just manipulated treatment, he rewrote history. I called Valerie. She was silent for a moment. Then she said, there's more. The board buried complaints years ago. I'm meeting a journalist tomorrow. One, I didn't hesitate. Yes, Valerie and I met the journalist at a diner off Route 14. She slid over a folder. Here's the pattern. 10 girls, all minors, all post-trial complications, photos, notes, even a death certificate. Why wasn't this stopped? I asked. Valerie's eyes burned. Because they made money, prestige, I whispered. Tommy wasn't the only ghost. We agreed on full anonymity. But inside I knew I wanted my name out there. I wouldn't be erased too. The story broke 2 weeks later. Front page, Dr. Nash, hero or horror? My inbox exploded. Survivors, parents, even staff thanked me. But one email chilled me. It was from Rebecca. He wasn't a monster, he was broken. Attached a childhood photo of her, Nash, and Tommy at the hospital. Rebecca held a notebook like mine. The caption read prototype. I stared, heart racing. What had started before me wasn't truly over. I showed the photo to Jordan. He frowned. That hospital closed after a malpractice lawsuit. Files vanished. Valerie dug deeper. Tommy's original records were altered too. Dates didn't match, staff names were aliases. He wasn't just trying to save Tommy, she said. He was hiding what happened to him. I asked, was he victim or villain? Jordan replied, both. Leela said softly, he wanted to rewrite the past. We're living in his fiction. Late one night, I found another sticky note tucked inside my journal. Word A9 resilient. I hadn't written it. My hands shook. I ran to Valerie's office. She examined it. This handwriting isn't Nash's. We compared it to Rebecca's old school forms. Match, she had access. Valerie muttered, she's still watching. I stared at the security camera in the hallway. Its red light blinking. Someone was still invested in the experiment. Rebecca disappeared from public view. Jordan confirmed she never returned home. A nurse swore she saw her near the hospital's closed research wing. We checked nothing. Just dust, old files, and a half-lit monitor blinking system inactive. Valerie stared at it. She rebooted the interface. On the wall was a whiteboard, names of girls including mine marked in erasable ink. Leo whispered, it's still happening. We left, locking the wing, but locks never stopped the obsessed. A podcast leaked the research wing photo. It went viral. People debated its meaning. Survivors reached out again. That board had my name. Leela and I created a secure forum, Reclaim. Within days, dozens joined, comparing symptoms, timelines. Valerie provided medical insights. Jordan helped with records. But then, someone posted under the name T. Nash. The message read, thank you for continuing his legacy. We banned the user. Still, the fear settled like smoke. A week later, Leela's medical file was hacked. Her dosage logs changed. Dosages increased retroactively. We panicked. Valerie traced the anonymous font, likely internal. Jordan confronted the hospital board. Their reply, data error. He slammed his badge down and resigned. I felt rage. They were still protecting him. I pulled out the notebook. Nash gave me every lie, every dosage, every symptom. Then we go public again, I said. This time with everything. We launched a live street. Valerie opened with facts, dates, and hospital memos. I showed my notebook handwriting, redacted pages, altered meds. Leela shared her chart. Within an hour, Nash files trended worldwide. Former patients joined the chat. But then, a chilling message appeared. Do not forget Tommy. We froze. Valerie muted the stream. They're watching, she whispered. I typed, we remember and we fight. Then I clicked resume. Silence broke. Followers flooded in. The live street triggered a federal review. Inspector seized hospital records. The board claimed ignorance. But Leela found something buried in email chain labeled T. Project inside Dr. Nash proposing emotional transference therapy via proxy patients. Grief as treatment. One line read. I nearly vomited. Valerie whispered. They all approved it. That night, the hospital CEO resigned. And Rebecca still missing. I stared at my reflection. Jaw tight. I wouldn't be anyone's experiment again. Rebecca resurfaced on a private blog. The post titled Tommy deserved better. Detailed how Nash forced her to watch sessions, take notes. He said my silence kept him alive. Screenshots showed her copying data into Aurora's file. I trembled. She was groomed into his system. Valerie nodded, but she broke too late. The blog vanished within hours. Still, we archived it. Lily added it to Reclaim. Truth doesn't disappear, even when people try. A survivor named Alina reached out. Her journal matched mine, same structure. Phrases, sticky notes. He called me resilient one too, she said. She'd been hospitalized 5 years prior. Her medical team disappeared mid-trial. They moved me, she whispered, to keep it going. Valerie traced the new clinic, still active, still using Nash's protocols. I felt fury. We exposed them. Jordan rejoined us silently. Let's burn this thing to the ground. The clinic denied everything, until we mailed them Alina's journal. Then their site went offline. Former employees started talking. They followed guidelines. Never questioned it. Valerie compiled testimonies. We sent them to every health board, news station, and watchdog we could find. One headline read, Legacy of a Madman. Maya hugged me, sobbing. You're saving lives. But I only felt exhaustion. I whispered. I just wanted to stop. Leela squeezed my hand. Almost there. We were invited to testify. Congress, national TV. Valerie insisted we rehearse. My mom paced backstage, nervous. When my turn came, I stepped up, hands shaking. My name is Aurora Whitman. I was a patient. I was rewritten. The room stilled. I read from my journal. Lawmakers flinched. Cameras clicked. When I finished, people stood, not clapped, stood. Valerie cried. Leela whispered. They're listening now. And for the first time, I believed her. Leela handed me a folder labeled Final Log. Inside the last patient entry from Nash's trial, someone named Ivy, dated 2 days before Tommy's death. Symptoms match mine. She wasn't mentioned in any file. Leela said. Valerie confirmed she vanished. That night, I dreamed of Ivy calling my name. I woke gasping. We're all pieces of a pattern, I told Maya. She nodded. But now you're breaking it. I wasn't alone anymore. Rebecca turned herself in. Her statement, I wanted to fix what he broke. She led authorities to a storage unit filled with journals, patients' logs. Some decades old. He said memory was medicine. I scanned names, symptoms, matching codes. Ivy's book was there. I wept. She was real. Valerie archived them all. Leela said, now they live outside his control. For the first time, the experiment ended with our voices. On the anniversary of my diagnosis, I spoke at a survivors conference. My journal, now scanned and published, rested on the podium. We were not broken, I said. We were rewritten, but we rewrote back. Valerie handed me a bracelet. Ivy vines for Ivy. Leela raised her phone. Live streaming, over 300 watched. Maya held my mom's hand. I smiled. This isn't just healing, this is history. And history was ours now. Our story became a documentary. Rewritten. The patients of Project T. Critics called it haunting. Vital. Survivors gained support. New regulations passed. Valerie returned to advocacy. Jordan led reform committees. Leela got into med school. Maya started a podcast. And me, I stood outside the hospital, now condemned. I placed my old notebook on the steps. It ends here, I said. Then I walked away into sunlight. Into future, into my own chapter. Some nights I still hear the beep of machines, the low hum of Nash's voice. But I don't freeze anymore. I breathe. I grip the Ivy bracelet. And remember Ivy, Alina, Leela. Each step forward is ours. Valerie says healing isn't linear, it's archived. Just like our stories, I've learned to speak, not swallow, to document, not deny. My journal's final page reads, I'm not his mirror, I'm my own truth. That line saved me. I walk through the community center now, where we hold monthly survivor meetings. Faces I've never met smile at me, some scared, some strong. We trade notebooks, not prescriptions. Leah reads aloud from Ivy's log. We all listen. Valerie organizes workshops. Maya leads storytelling circles. Each voice we amplify silences Nash's shadow a little more. My mom brings cookies. I finally see her smile again. Healing isn't quiet. It's collective, loud, messy, and it's ours. Dr. Nash remains institutionalized. No license, no visitors. Rebecca testified again, quiet, tearful. He wanted redemption, not healing. The board was fined millions as several members banned from practice. Ivy's parents sent me a letter. You gave her a legacy. Val reframed it. Maya read it on the podcast. We cried. But this time, the tears were different. They were final. Not the end of a story, but the end of his control over it. We turned Reclaim into a nonprofit funded, staffed, expanding. A new wing named after Ivy opened in a children's hospital. Leela interned there. Valerie gave lectures. Jordan's reforms reshaped patient rights. I lead workshops. Tell girls question everything. Your voice matters. My mom volunteers now. Maya hosts survivor panels. We grew beyond Nash, beyond fear. My story wasn't erased. It became a movement. One journal at a time. We rewrote everything. And we're not done. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe to check out more stories on my channel.